A build-around submission for Tiamat here. When enters the battlefield, search your library for 5 differently named dragons not named Tiamat and slam them into your hand. Our deck is a base red-black deck with a bunch of splashes. So we've got triple splash for Tiamat, we've got single splash for Prismari and the Adult Gold Dragon, and we're enabling the splash off of the plenty of pathways in our mana base, as well as cards like Painter, Forsworn Paladin, Deadly Dispute, Skullport Merchant that all make treasures, as well as Orb of Dragonkind, which makes 2 mana of any color. So the basic idea is that this filters 2 of the 5 colors for Tiamat, and then we just need like 1 treasure or 1 off-color pathway to be able to cast this into here. The treasures also accelerate us into casting our big things ahead of curve. So we've got a little bit of Dragonfire here, as well as blockers to stop our opponent's early game, and then we're hoping to win the late game with a slew of powerful dragons. So let's go ahead and dive on into some games with this, see if it has what it takes to keep up with the green aggro decks in the format, or if it's just a little bit too slow. Wrong 2 mana red card. That says menace, so we might as well attack. I'm gonna hold this back. I think we'll block probably. I think if they want to attack, I'm good with that trade. Time to restart Arena. Maybe. Sever Arena's never really liked backing out of canceling the queues, so. Okay. What color do I want this to make? Just any off color is fine, right? And all of our colors taken care of at this point. I think we're probably going to Dragonfire the Clarion Spirit here, so they can't make chunk blockers. Our mana, nice and functional there at least. Sure. This is technically a turn 2 play as well, because we can pay a life and make a treasure here, which is nice. Could be a turn 3 play as well, honestly. Yeah, Paladin's a great utility card. Loved this card in the red-black mid-range deck we played last week. Yeah, when you have open mana, this card makes combat a nightmare for the opponent. Oh, what color are we making here? Probably white. Second red, I have second black. See if Adult Gold Dragon's able to keep us in the game here or not. Has Flying, Lifelink, and Haste. Really good at helping us race. Buying us time. Oh, Emergent Sequence. Interesting. Is it crazy to, like, block Dispute? I think I'm kind of into it. I'm not going to have another good window to use this card. Uses my mana for the turn, gains me a little bit of life. It makes me a treasure still. We've had first Adult Gold Dragons, yes, but what about second Adult Gold Dragons? Honestly, it could be wrong not playing more of this card too. We played the red-white book deck the other day, and we were playing a bunch of this card in it, and it was very good there. So, like, now next turn, I get to play another Adult Gold Dragon, and then the following turn, we get to play Tiamat off this treasure. Huh? What if I Skullport Merchant into Dragonfire, deal 7 to this now? That seems good. I can also just hang out for a turn and do this at instant speed. They have Inscription, I suppose, to blow us out, though. Already played an Inscription. So this deals 3 damage, or you can reveal a dragon and deal damage equal to that dragon's power instead. So really, really, really good with Tiamat. Roast ain't got nothing on this Dragonfire, chat. And this is on white. So we have white, blue, black, red, green, a land into Tiamat next turn. Sweet to see that our deck is functioning and able to cast its 5-color monster, even when we don't have, the Orb of Dragonkind to double filter for us. Yeah, Roast is a sorcery, and it doesn't kill things with flying. Come on, kick an Inscription. Oh, yeah! Oh, yeah! Things you love to see, chat. It. We got a Blizzard Brawl as our last card in hand. So, little bit unlucky here. We drew both of our Adult Gold Dragons. So this only gets to draw 4 differently named dragons. I would like to apologize to everybody that I've disappointed with this sequence of plays. Literally unplayable, chat. Only drew 4 dragons. What's going on? Took Marshall. Thanks for the follow. Okay, so... we just a gold... Oh, an adult gold dragon doesn't even attack into this, right? Yikes. Their stupid reach idiots make the combat messy. What if I crack with Tiamat and then go Prismari into Predator? And then next turn we can Inferno attack with a bunch. Yeah, I think I like double dragon this turn. I can't wait to try Baby Sarkin and Glorybringer in this deck in Historic. Man, you think getting your 3-mana spell memory lapsed feels bad? Wait till you get your 7-mana spell memory lapsed, chat. It's quite the experience. But drawing Tiamat again is good, right? It's so nice you'll draw it thrice. The thought of that hurt me. You gotta play Little Dumb. Are you sure you can play Allosaurus Rider too? I believe in you, Timmy. You cast those dragons. Don't you let Gandalf keep you down. What's Gandalf done for you lately? It's just the man trying to keep you down, chap. Mid-rangey decks just really struggle in best of 1. Like, I think, like, the red-black mid-range deck I played in the best of 3 tournament over the weekend is pretty sweet, but you basically just, like, punting half your matchups without a sideboard. And I guess you could do something similar for that, but, like, yeah. I think my preferred black-white deck for this best of 1 queue is Angels, because Angels is a little bit mid-rangey, but it also has some very good proactive draws. This hand is where wild cards go to die. Listen, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. There's only 13 mythics and rares in my 14 card hand and board, chat. Temple of the Dragon is an uncommon. This deck is very affordable. I think our opponent DC'd, unfortunately. That's fine. Our dragons were going to eat them anyways. I don't know that I'd assume salt, especially since Magic Arena has come to mobile. I usually don't assume people are salty. Like, mobile disconnects are a real thing. You assume I don't already own most of these mediocre dragons. To be fair, Like, Pathways are a great craft. Goldspan Dragon's a great craft. Like, the only card on my board that's like, you're kind of throwing your wild cards away and won't use in anything else is Tiamat. All right, chat. Well, I mean, I have two 2-mana deal 7s. What color is this making? Does it really matter? Red? Red? Red. Clink. Sometimes I like to pretend I'm a Spike, that I watch Jeff play this deck and I realize I'm lying to myself. Listen, when you're alone at night, you know, just be honest with yourself. Alright, so I get to play this. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're 1 land away from Tiamat. Red, red, black. Reveal a dragon card. Target you. Reveal you. Gotta do this now because the cleric class is locking us out of doing it otherwise. Yes. Yeah, there's... This deck definitely has a non-zero amount of brain power spent on putting your lands into play. This Dragonfire card's pretty good, chat. This Dragonfire card. Oh, these are cleric classes, not paladin classes. I thought these were paladin classes. I just assumed they were playing paladin class. Whoopsie poopsie. How do you check a user's history? / username / user and then the username. Is there an unban request? Oh, I don't have my... Wait, did I just... What had just happened? God damn it. Are we gonna lose because I didn't pump? Watch us lose this game because I wasn't paying attention. Listen, chat. If I'm being honest, The thought I had in my brain was, I really wish there was an eye so I could see how this combat works out here, but I also think we're gonna win by enough. And I think that's actually not the case, and we're about to die. I think we are actually about to lose the game. Yeah, we're actually gonna lose this game. All right, so the deck won that game, but I misclicked out of it. Got it. I'm gonna blame looking for my Twitch mod dashboard at the time. That's fine. Like I said, chat, the records that decks have aren't important. We still had flavor text on Inferno. We had a lot of mana. We didn't have 14 red mana. And to the person that said there was an unban request, you appear to have lied to me. There was not an unban request in the queue. We punted our match for nothing, chat. There wasn't even actually an unban request. Hey, we need to draw some lands. Oh, they're DMing mods directly. Now, there's an actual unban request queue that Twitch has that's a formal way to request unbans. That's what they should be doing. Yikes. I don't think we're going to be able to recover from missing a land drop here. We'll see. They weren't even banned to begin with. Well, that's probably why they couldn't find the formal unban request. Oh, Magic players. A little Gruul action here. Wonder what red cards they're leaning on. Probably still have Blizzard Brawl here. Painter looks like she's about to die. That's fine. We brought it back up. We're just playing Predator. I guess if I played this, I could technically Tiamat next turn with the land, right? I'd rather have a blocker. There's no guarantee we have a land next turn anyways. Goldspan being the reason to be in red makes sense. We have a Blizzard Brawl here as well. Blizzard Brawl is technically a ramp spell in this spot, too. Does it cost them 1 and makes them 2 mana with Goldspan? Yeah, it looks like it. Brutal. I guess they could have nothing left over. Kind of surprised they didn't Ranger class. Untapped land. We'll keep playing if we find an untapped land. Showdown of the Skulls. Alright. We'll bail out on the no land tip. Because even with all of their bricks, the Showdown is going to pump up their stuff, and the Ranger class is going to draw a bunch of cards. This is a tapped red land, right? Oh, it's untapped because we have Adult Gold Dragon. That seems great. Parsing, parsing what colors your mana makes is not quickly done in this deck. I mean, you can subscribe even if you're banned. Like Twitch wants your money. If you're banned and want to subscribe, that's possible, Time Lord. It's probably just someone not understanding how to work the Twitch interface. Shadow banning is not a thing on Twitch. If you are banned, you are aware that you are banned. And being banned doesn't stop you from subscribing or watching the channel, it just means you can't post in chat. Sounds like something to ask Twitch about? Nah, I think shadow bans are silly. You even become a shillionaire. I don't think that's true. I believe when you're banned or timed out, you don't accrue channel points. I'm fairly certain. I think we just like Adult Gold Dragon as a 6/5, right? Wow, brutal. The old blue card off of no blue mana. So we have red, red, black, black, white. When you gain life, you may pay 1. If you do, put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control, and those creatures gain trample until end of turn. Alright, well, we should have murdered some innkeepers in response to this. Should have murdered some innkeepers in response. What does that have to do with anything impromptu? Yeah, it's a big sad that Wizards has locked us into playing best of 1 in this format. No chance to make up for mistakes or high rolls from opponents. Yeah, sounds great, right? Red mana, black mana. Hey, look, it's the cleric. Oh, is this the person we punted against a second ago? By not activating our thing? You gain life, get that much +1. Whenever you gain life, put 1/1 counter. Return a creature from your graveyard to the battlefield, you gain life equal to its toughness. No, that opponent had snow lands. Okay. I want to pick an off color here. So we can work towards this. So white, black, red, green, blue. What's going on, Jerry? Thanks for the 39 months. Welcome back. So if we draw, all of our lands are untapped because we're all pathways and temples. If we draw a land next turn, we can do this. Eric Tron, thanks for the entire year. Good afternoon. Welcome back. I think we do this because it nets us the same amount of mana and it threatens to block this inside of combat. Oh. Shit. Yeah, I think we've missed for too long here now. I mean, like, I failed to read my opponent's cards and realize how they were going to interact with us, and we stumbled on mana. I also made a bad sequence. I could have played around Vanishing Burst by playing this guy instead of the Orb of Dragonkind, and then we would have hit Tiamat on curve and had a large blocker that they wouldn't have been able to interact with. So again, that's like one of those things where if it's a best of 3 queue, we can learn from our mistakes and have a chance to play a game. We also get to not only learn from the mistakes of play patterns of the opponent's cards, but also know which removal they have access to, like Vanishing Verse, and sequence better to play around their cards. Is fine. We get to do this on 1 and to activate it on 2. Like, the opponent's, the previous opponent's deck, like, spent a bunch of turns literally doing nothing that impacted the board, and I have to imagine it just dies to mono green during that time, right? Like, when we did nothing and stumbled, it had time to get set up, but on average, it's not going to have time to get set up against the good deck in the format. to try and block Prismari into the Berserker here. They have a Frostbite, they have a Frostbite. It's a Frostbite that's not killing my Paladin that I need to make treasures for me. We might want some, we might want a 25th land in this deck, or 26th. I don't know, I have a lot of things that make treasures, I suppose. Alright, so no attacks here. Maybe they attack with Flameblade Charger to offer the trade for this. So, do we just adult gold and race here? That's probably the play, right? I can't block. They don't make their cost cheaper until they already have dragons. So they have to have dragons to begin with to make cost cheaper. So it's like crack them for 9 and then they're dead unless they can interact with both my dragons next turn. Adult Gold's been really good. Been fantastic at most of the games we've had it. It's so tough to race. I really hope there's a big Boros deck. Maybe that's something we could work on, like a fair version of Big Boros. Might be something similar to like the red-white mid-range deck that we've played in. Yeah, this is probably fine. I have a couple of deal 4s. I have no idea to check if I've got a user blocked. I don't really use Twitch as a messaging service either, so if I've blocked someone, it's probably because they were messaging me annoying things at some point. Huh? Yep. If they have a Righteous Valkyrie, we're gonna be in a lot of trouble here. Pretty good with Innkeeper, too. Huh. I mean, we about to lose to Charm Stray, chat? Why not use fire there? Because I want to use fires to kill their things with lifelink. Because these are one-time use on their life gain. Although we might kill one of these innkeepers now. Yeah, I think we're dead. It's just too slow. We need something proactive against what they have going on. We don't have any sweepers. Even this doesn't do it, right? I guess I can play this on defense. I can't attack. Super dead. Opponent's deck was sweet. Green right, green right, life gain. Cleric class has looked impressive out of a couple of decks that have played it. I think I like this last build we played against the most out of things we've run into though. A couple of the other cleric class decks people were playing were just like didn't do anything and they only worked because our deck stumbled. But that opponent had a really nice proactive game plan that leaned into cleric class in a really aggressive way. Well, not to be confused with clerics as an archetype, pierogi, so like cleric class doesn't mean tribal clerics. Cleric class is a card that is good with life gain stuff in general. And the innkeeper is also the inn's bouncer at 4/4. Big mood. Doomscar. Okay. May as well spend our treasure to make a treasure, huh? Maybe I'm supposed to Prismari there, actually, because Prismari guarantees Tiamat next turn. McDoulian, thanks for the 26 months. Welcome back. It's been fun, Jack. It's been a good set. My opponent's Doomscar deck is probably, like, pretty good into a lot of the stuff on the ladder, but, you know, here's a Tiamat. Do I even play Tiamat, or do I Inferno first? If I Tiamat, I'm gonna have to discard to hand size. I'm gonna Inferno first. Excuse me? Return one target artifact, enchantment, sorcery, and planeswalker from your graveyard to your hand. Okay. Unfortunately, only drawing 4 cards here. Is this card even playable? We only drew 4 with it. Green Scar 8, thank you for the 11 months. Welcome back. I wish they would have done a Niv-Mizzet style animation where like the head popped up while you were searching your deck. That would have been cool. No, Dynasty. Goblins and Historic is just a brain dead Muxus deck. You just like play your card and hope for the best. Yeah, Historic Goblins is an aggro deck. It's a combo deck. They might actually outgrind our Tiamat drawing 4 dragons here, chat. It's kind of wild. Howdy, Alda. Thanks for the follow. Their reconstruct histories were really good. The opponent is playing removal.deck. Yeah, it looks like they're playing Mardu control with like spare supplies and reconstruct history as card advantage. Seems like guess. I bet their deck is like very good into the various what's it called decks in the format that we've seen. Like things like mono green.
Your books to page, well darn, looks like you flunked out. Wow.
Addery says, thanks for the 2/3 of a year, welcome back.
Fine. I'm taking the day off.
So this can sack treasures to draw cards. So I have every color except green in my mana base right now. We go Predator into Predator here. I actually think they did a really good job of Dragonfire being unique compared to Draconic Roar. Like, the fact that this scales up to kill bigger things instead of hitting 2 things at once is great. Wow, and Benjamin, thanks for the follows. Good afternoon. Oh god, did they get another history? There's no way we beat a 3rd reconstruct history, right? Yeah, I think they're... Holy crap. This card's just buried us. Woof.
The essence of life. Is it was going to die eventually.
Yeah, I don't even know that Tiamat pulls us through this.
I'll be in my office.
We're gonna give it the old college try here. What game is this? Well, this is best of one, so it's game one. Oh no, chat! Chat, there aren't basics in my deck, chat. Yikes. Blue, we'll name white with this. I don't think I want to sack all my treasures because they're just going to do the Baleful Mastery anyways. And I'm pretty sure we've drawn every card we can search with Tiamat at this point, right? Like, I don't think there's things... I think our Tiamats are just 7-mana 7/7s at this point. Even if we draw them.
That's Professor Onyx to you. Never thought I'd miss the library.
Alright, let's find out if that's true. Pretty sure there's nothing to get. Wow. Man, we got ground into an absolute pulp this game, huh? Man, we're gonna have to queue this up for later this week, huh? I mean, you can basically build their deck like we've seen most of it, right? Yeah, that's guess. Good game, opponent. They reconstructed history so the dragons don't exist. Wow. I mean, you're not wrong, but also wow. Do I want another dragon to be able to get out of my deck? This has been kind of whatever. I'm putting another Inferno in my deck. Thanks for the follow, Phantom. Well, our deck can't really play Turtles, though. Also, I don't know that Turtles really solve any of the problems that we've had so far, but we definitely can't afford to play blue cards. Yeah, Dragon Turtle is a blue 3-drop. Alright, I think I give him a turn with the pack leader. So that way I can get Goldspan down next turn. Even if I brick out of land. Goldspan sets us up for Tiamat next turn. Wants to fight? Wants to fight? Night. Would Mardu be better than Jeskai? I don't know. This is pretty unfortunate. We gotta discard the hand size here. Nah, JK, I can guess the Dragon Orb. Edward Blake, thanks for the follow. Good afternoon. Yeah, that be dragons. Is Goldspan Dragon the new Teferi 5? So, you're right that they're comparable in that the mana cost printed in the corner of the card is deceiving, but what they actually do inside of the game is drastically different. I don't think that they really are comparable to each other on a baseline. No black mana, but like we've got Orb of Dragonkind. Nice, never didn't have it. I think we just get our ramp going here. Can attack for one with Menace. Xanthius, if you're still here, I just took a second and looked up the message history of that person you were referring to. And, apparently I blocked them 3 years ago for, asserting that people that are willing to gamble while playing Magic provide better playtesting. So, we can unblock them, but that's definitely still a very silly theory to have. It's gonna turn into a 4/4 next turn. I think we get down the Orb of Dragonkind, and the next turn we can go Goldspan into this. What does that mean? It meant that it was probably one of the points where I had there's this idea among Magic grinders that people who are willing to spend money to gamble on matches, i.e. MTGO leagues, are higher calibers of player. Because if you weren't willing to spend money gambling, you couldn't possibly be a good player. And I have spent many a years pushing back on that very silly idea. Maybe their opinions have changed. It's been 3 years, but let's wait until I get a treasure, and then we'll dragon fire. Choose a dragon we control. Auto pay. Goodbye, friend. I think we just go ahead and choose a dragon we control again. What a weird correlation. I mean, it's not really that weird of a correlation in my experience, because it's one that people use to justify to themselves that it's worth spending money on a Magic Online League. Because, like, if you're honest with yourself and you tell yourself, oh, playing random Magic Online Leagues for 10 bucks a pop isn't really good testing playing against random people, it's harder to justify the online gambling if you're losing consistently. Whereas, like, you know, if you're justifying your costs of spending a bunch of money on Magic Online Leagues by saying, oh, this is good testing, so I'm paying for good testing, then it's easier to explain that cost to yourself in your mind. What do we think of block with Predator, sack Paladin here? I think I'm into it. So for reference, for people that haven't, it's been a while since we talked about that because I don't do a lot of Magic Online anymore. In my opinion, whether it be Magic Online leagues or random ladder matches here or constructed events or whatever, playing matches of Magic or games of Magic against random people in a random setting where you're not picking their deck list, it's not good testing. In my opinion, good testing when it comes to Magic the Gathering involves sitting down with someone else that you know is a reasonable Magic player for one, and thinking through playing specifically matchups that you care about, right? And like, don't get me wrong, playing ladder matches is fun. I play lots of matches of Magic on the ladder, and I enjoy myself. It's a good time. But if I was prepping seriously for a tournament, I wouldn't play a bunch of ladder matches or a bunch of league matches or whatever and say, oh, this is good testing. It's better than nothing, but it's also worse than, like, more focused testing would be. And it's not even just about player quality or player caliber. Like, there's plenty of good players playing on the ladder. It has to do with you don't have as much control over the variables that you're working with. Is what it comes down to. Is what it comes down to at a fundamental level. Yeah, it's been a long time. I'm a boomer these days. I don't really playtest for events formally, but like when I was traveling to play a lot of Magic and really cared about the results, I was trying to do my best to prep for events like me and my buddies just sat there. Yeah, sit there and smash tough matchups against each other. Thanks for the Prime. All done with you. Yeah. If you look back on my YouTube from decades past, gosh, it's probably 3 or 4 years ago at this point, there's videos of my old paper Magic camera setup where my buddies and I would test in Matt's basement before our tournaments and kind of go through and hammer matchups and talk through lines. Is this good enough? Can I keep a hand that doesn't do anything till turn 3 on the draw? I think we got a mulligan this, right? This is much better. We'll bottom the redundant Kalain. I miss jamming in the basement with friends on occasion. I don't miss printing out dozens of decks on... I don't miss printing out Magic card proxies and taking the time to do that. I have a color laser printer that we bought for the express purpose of printing color proxies for on-stream testing. You wouldn't download a card, yeah, exactly. So, double island, double foretell. What do we think about Deadly Dispute? Sack this to make a treasure, and it sets us up to Inferno next turn. I think I'm into it. Just kind of get them before they can untap. When you find deck lists from Sunday's tournament, you could go to jeffhoagland.com and click Hoaglandia Opens, and then click on Hoaglandia Opens, and then click on the most recent one. That reminds me, I'm pretty sure the Hoaglandia Opens page on my website. Gonna make a note of that. I forgot, I haven't embedded the video of the latest open yet. You gave them a direct link, Cody. Nah, don't give them a direct link. We're teaching people how to fish here. You don't want to hand them the direct link. You want to tell them how they can always find that answer in the future. I think our deck has been very reasonable. A lot of our losses have either been close, or I made a pretty significant mistake not being able to read my opponent's Magic cards. 3 lands, 3 Orb of Dragonkind, a Tiamat, and a Dream Check. If keeping this hand is wrong, then I don't want to be right. Now, MTG Melee is great. I'm happy to advertise things that are great for free. Anyone feel like you've been getting a lot more "did you have fun" prompts at the end of these matches? Yeah, I have. I do feel that way, and I hope that they are measuring that response a ton, considering making rotation faster or making some kind of fundamental change to standard. I really hope they are measuring and comparing the number of smiley faces and frowny faces with base standard. If they're smart, that's what they're doing. So Brad Nelson works with them, but he is not one of the original. I guess he's one of their original employees. Jason Flats is the person that coded up the wondrous stuff that is Melee. Whenever you gain life, each opponent loses 1 life. Nice. Okay, so that's a banger draw. It's a golden draw. Actual perfect. So attack you with this. Play this. We have Tiamat rolled up for next turn. Oh, he lists himself as a maybe it was a joint effort. There's more than just programming that goes into it, so I could be wrong there. If he lists himself as co-founder, that's probably accurate. I'm not sure exactly what he's involved with. Sorry, Brads, for the misinformation. Thanks for the correction. Your particular problematic deck. No, I don't think so. In fact, if you haven't been keeping up with Standard and you're wondering, hey Jeff, what in the heck does Standard 2022 look like? You should check out my Meta Monday video from last night. Short 10-minute video, I broke down the results of all of the first weekend of Standard 2022 tournaments, as well as the latest historic updates. A lot of great content and series on my YouTube channel. Yeah, there be dragons. Arrgh. All right, let's do one or two more with dragons, and then we're gonna dive on into some Biomutant to wrap things up today. I'm so happy that this deck has generated reasonable games of Magic. Chat, can you believe casting a 7/7 for 7? Seems reasonable. That sounds so good. I'm only 2 hours into Biomutant, so I don't really have strong feelings or opinions on it just yet. We started it yesterday. I played the first couple of hours were reasonable enough that we're playing it again. So, I think if you were talking about the quality of the play patterns a card generates, Aldrin's Epiphany is a pretty toxic Magic the Gathering card. But from a power level perspective, it still remains to be seen if it's too good from a power level perspective. Yeah, that too. If I'm being honest, I was expecting our Tiamat to grind that opponent's control deck into the ground, and the fact that they were able to kind of power through us was like super impressive. It is really annoying that this defaults to using treasures. You got to be careful with that. So if this is in play, the game defaults to using your treasures to cast all creatures. Leather Armor made a deep run in the Hoaglandia Open this past weekend. If you did not see the Spare Dagger Leather Armor Mardu Nahiri deck, you're missing out. You want to check out the results of the Open. Poindexter, thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate the prime. Speaking of your favorite Twitcher, I'm excited. We're gonna play some more Witcher 3 when that releases their next gen update. You can also find feature matches of the Spare Dagger deck on coverage. Okay, so this is a 6/6. Crunch. I'm a fan of the Witcher Netflix show. I did enjoy the Witcher Netflix show. They foretold a card. Huh. I think we kill Lumiarch here, right? So she doesn't have haste. Yeah, it's probably Angels, right? So they get to draw a card here. We get to kill this. We only take 2 here. So if this does make 2 Angels, they're not dead on board. What do we think of sacrifice the painter, draw 2 here? I think I'm into it. Nailed it. Just like we drew it up. What if I sack the Skullport Merchant to draw cards with this extra mana? Also kind of into it. It builds me up more treasures here too. This is definitely a mulligan on the draw. It's probably a mulligan on the play too, with only 2 lands, honestly. Yeah, that seems great. Am I bottoming, though? Is it Tiamat? I think it might be a Tiamat bottom here. Sad, as sad as it is. Excuse me? Alright, well that's gotta go. So, the reason why I didn't build this as blue lure is I think if you build this deck... Nice, nailed it. I think if you build this deck with blue cards, you're just kind of a bad blue-red dragons at that point. I don't know, maybe this is a bad version of black-red without those cards too, but when I do build arounds, I try not to build strictly worse versions of things that already exist. I think that's a lame way to do it. I try not to take the stock good deck and mess it up by the card that's been requested. Hey Slad, thanks for the follow. Welcome to the channel. Huh? Am I supposed to kill this one? I think so. Do it now in case they have counter spells. Yeah, I'd bet that Mardu deck's probably not great into Alduin's Epiphany. I'd wager it's good against the creature decks, and it might be able to be good against Alduin's Epiphany in post-board games, but as is probably not very good. I'm just supposed to Gold Dragon there. Rogue class in the rogue deck chat. Creatures you control have menace. That's pretty good. Honestly, I probably should have guessed this last turn. Just started racing faster. This technically mills us too, right? We're just gonna get tempoed out here. Miss lane drops for a little bit too long. 23 cards in deck. A couple more haste Dorkos might do it. They're milling us for 3 a turn. Most of the class cards are good. A number of them are very good, yeah. They get to play our lands out with this, too. That's so heckin' rude. We're so close, chat. We're so close. Unreal Me, thanks for the 7 months. Welcome back. That's true, Jimos. A number of them are good. I agree, most might be a stretch. Okay, so they gotta deal with this, and they have to beat the adult gold dragon, and they didn't attack. So hopefully this is lethal. Thanks for the 26 months, Justin. Okay, I have a jump block. Close game. Okay. No, but I'm also not really trying boots. Hey, GMs, thanks for the 3 months. Welcome back. We are still a mana short of casting Tiamat. Oh, it didn't use Orb of Dragonkind by default. Man, that sucks. So this can't be used to pay for anti-cognition. Yeah, shit. It wanted to leave Orb of Dragonkind up to sacrifice it. That's frustrating. Because now they get to attack me with this and mill me and draw a card off my deck. Whereas before they would... I guess they would have done that anyways, but then they'd have to sacrifice it after. You can't pay anyways. Oh, is it just a hard counter? Counter trigger shows if it's a controller. Instead, counter the... Oh, okay. I thought it just gained the Scry 2 upgrade. Wow, this card's probably really good, huh? This card's probably super reasonable. Because, like, it's basically mana leak early and then it's a hard counter late. I guess it's only creatures or planeswalker spells. So this mills 4. We're at 12 cards in deck. This also threatens to block us here. So if this doesn't interact with this, they might only attack with this, milling us 1. Yeah, the fact this is only creature or planeswalkers could be the holdup on it. Definitely seems good. Well, you definitely don't have room... You definitely don't have room to do that in Historic, because in Historic you play Memory Lapse. Yeah, Agdub's Awakening's a good draw. Close. We almost got there. Rogue class putting in some work. Bonus bill, sweet. It's a lot of feet. Like, the number of times today where, like, I've lost a close game and, like, the result at the end has been like, man, their deck was sweet and we should work on something like that at some point. It's just, like, fantastic. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of our losses with this deck today felt really close. A number of the losses were me not quite reading or fully understanding the play patterns of how my opponent's cards were going to play out. The number one big takeaway was that my mana base was super functional, being base black-red with a couple of splashes for these off of Pathways and this and Orb of Dragonkind and the Treasures felt super reasonable. One card in general that I think I definitely undervalued during spoiler season was Deadly Dispute. Like, I assumed just because Village Rights existed and cost half as much that this was going to be worse. But the fact that this makes a treasure token and it can sacrifice treasure tokens is a really big deal. And honestly, it might be right to fit more of these in the deck because the fact that these chain together is huge. So like if you sack something to the first dispute, it makes a treasure token that you can then sack to the second dispute, kind of turning into just this chain of 2-mana draw twos, in addition to being a Village Right style effect, and also one that could ramp us up in key spots to make Tiamat happen sooner. So yeah, sweet. If you want to cast big, giant, dumb dragons, this seems like a fine place to start. I'd be very surprised if this is optimal, trying to figure out what the combination of other dragons you want to play is, but yeah, I like what this was doing a lot. All right, at any rate, that's going to wrap on Magic stuff for us for today.